It is now time for the world-famous Butch and Bob Show here on WIFO-FM in Jessup, and is brought to you by First Southern Bank, Murphy Builder Supply, Damon's Famous Fingers and Winds, and O'Quinn & Associates Country Financial.
When it comes to growing a family business, we understand the business of growing. At First Southern Bank, we've been meeting the needs of South Georgia farmers for over 100 years with competitive ag loan rates, including equipment loans, farmland loans, and lines of credit. First Southern Bank has all the banking tools you need to help keep your growing business growing. First Southern Bank, investing in you since 1907. For loan rates and more, visit FirstSouthernGA.com. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Since 1946, Murphy's Builder Supply has been serving the folks of Jessup, Wayne, and surrounding counties with quality products and knowledgeable service. Matter of fact, they feel they sell service first to make sure you get exactly what you need for your home improvement projects. And with each employee at Murphy's being there for 10 years or more, you know you're talking with someone with the experience to help you with building supplies, tools, paint, and all the things you need from a full-service hardware store. The best choice in home improvement is Murphy's Builder Supply, 156 Northeast Broad Street, Jessup.
Damon's Famous Fingers and Wings restaurant in Jessup is now open for business, practicing social distancing, but still serving that great food that Damon's is famous for. Come inside or come through the drive-thru, but Damon's is open inside and welcomes back its customers. The menu's the same, the service is fast, and the food is fantastic, and the sauces remain the same, mild, wild, insane, or inferno. The number is the same, 588-WING, 588-9464. Damon's Restaurant on West Cherry Street in Jessup. Dining room now open for business. Come on in and enjoy a great meal today.
Country Financial is ranked number 1 in customer satisfaction for home insurance according to J.D. Power. Why am I sharing such big news instead of some mascot or movie star? Because at Country Financial, we don't invest in all that. We invest in our clients. Call me, Stephanie, at 912-588-1051 at Shauna Quinn's office to learn more about Country Financial's J.D. Power award-winning home insurance.
For J.D. Power 2020 award information, visit jdpower.com/awards. Home insurance policies issued by Country Mutual Insurance Company, Country Preferred Insurance Company, or Country Casualty Insurance Company, Bloomington, Illinois.
The following is an exclusive presentation of Jessup Broadcasting, the sports leader in Southeast Georgia.
World famous. The world famous Butch and Bob Show.
World famous Butch and Bob Show right here on WIFO 105.5 FM in Jessup, 3 minutes after 8 o'clock here on this Thursday morning, the 24th day of July. Bob, how you doing?
I'm good.
You stay up there in that air conditioning when you're broadcasting the games, don't you, out there at Bill Morris Park?
Yeah, Specs taking care of me.
So, you did 3 games yesterday, but Bob was nice and cool up there in the press booth. And we'll be back there again this morning at 10 o'clock with more 17 and under girls softball action and state playoff action. Well, Bob, we got guests in the studio with us this morning. Who do we have as our special guest here on the world famous Butch and Bob Show?
You lined it up, so I'll let you introduce
Well, I didn't actually line it up. Ralph called me and said, we'd like to be on the show.
That's right.
That's right. So Ralph called me up the other day and said, Butch, me and Kevin like to come on the show and talk about, millage rate, taxes, other county issues going on. And so we set it up for today. So Ralph Hickox and Kevin McCrary, the 2 Wayne County commissioners, are in here this morning on the world famous Butch and Bob Show. Good morning, Ralph.
Good morning.
Good morning, Kevin.
Good morning.
Y'all doing well?
Yes, sir.
All right.
Well. Thank you for having us.
Oh, well, glad for y'all to be here. Y'all can come anytime. The chairs are open for any elected official, appointed official, and anything that he wants to be on here to talk about points of interest here in Wayne County. And so, Ralph, you requested for you and Kevin to be on the show a few days ago. What do y'all want to talk about this morning, Ralph?
I'm talking about lowering the taxes.
Lowering taxes. Everybody likes lower taxes.
Yeah. Bob, you do I listen to you on the radio. You do a good job with his kids on that. He brings them kids in after the game. Mm-hmm. You'd never know it's the same Bob that's sitting here right now. No, man. I mean, it's just super nice.
You get him around sports, he's a whole different Bob.
I want you to talk to me this morning like that a little bit. What am I going to do with my trophy, Bob?
I like kids.
Oh!
There that is. Well, politicians, that's a different category.
Wait a minute. Hold on. That's like a knife to heart. I don't feel like a politician.
I'm not a politician.
I'm just trying to represent the people. That's it.
Right.
Well, the reason I asked you to come in is last year, we're at the time of the year when the digest is going to come in. That's the evaluation of the county. It's done by the assessor and the tax commissioner. And then we're going to, in August, likely, not this meeting, but next meeting, we'll be setting the millage again for the year. Last year, I brought numbers that I had acquired from our audit team, and I demonstrated that in the last 3 years we could easily afford to go down 2 mills, and I posed that argument. Mm-hmm. Didn't get an argument back from any commissioners. The only pushback I got was from the administrator, who claimed that if we did that we would have to lay people off and would have to cut services, which is ludicrous when you look at these numbers. It passed, or it failed. My decrease I asked for failed 3-2. We finally did get 1 mill on a 3-2 vote the other way. So I figured the best thing to do would be to come in here ahead of time, pose these numbers to the people so they can see it. If you want your taxes to go down, I'm asking you to reach out to your commissioner and say, listen, are these numbers true or not? Either go in there and prove their case that we can't do it, or give the county citizens some relief. They deserve it. COVID was tough on everybody. The taxes, most people, we've had more phone calls from people about their assessments going up. So their taxes are going, their appraisals are going up on their properties. We're still elevated very high. We're one of the highest counties around us in taxes. There's no reason we can't go down, and I'll explain that in detail, but there's no reason not to.
So basically, you, Ralph Hickox, and Kevin McCrary, by looking at the numbers for the financial numbers for Wayne County, y'all feel that we can drop the mills, 2 mills.
At least 2.
At least 2, because you went up 5 quite a couple of years ago, and you think that y'all can go down at least 2 and still be able to balance the budget and put money in savings,
right?
No,
I'm good for that. We can go down at least 2 or more,
okay,
and still handle some issues we got coming up. So it's not putting us, and have pocketed a reserve from the last 3 years equal to the annual digest. And now, this isn't me making up. This ain't magic numbers that I've made up, okay? I did the same thing I did last year. I called the county office, and I said, can you give me, this is real simple. I don't want a bunch of, I'm not asking for a lot of in-between numbers. It's just 2 numbers I'm looking for per year. How much did we spend? How much did we take in? That's pretty simple, isn't it? And I want to know not just that number from the county office, but after it was audited by our CPA, and what they turned in as certified to the state of Georgia. So these are certified numbers, with the exception of 20. 20 hadn't been certified audit yet, but it is the county's number. Now, in front of you I gave you each paper.
Right. 17,
18, 19, 20. We took in more than we spent. Certified, $3 million. I'm sorry, you don't have a copy. $3 million in 17. We took in more than we spent in 18 by $6,400,000, almost 6.5. 19 was $3 million more than we spent. 20 we're tracking to do 4.6. Again, that's over.
So what you're saying here, Ralph, in case folks don't understand, in 2017, you're saying that you brought in 2017, Wayne County brought in $3 million more than it spent. Is that correct?
That's what's certified from the state. That's not what I'm saying.
Certified from the state.
Yes.
And then 2018, about a little over $6 million
almost
more. Okay, in income versus in revenues over the expenses, and then in 2019, according to these state figures here, that we brought in $3 million, a little over $3 million in 2019 more than we spent. Is that correct?
Yeah, and in each one of those years, the budget went up. So not only did we do that, every year we didn't make cuts at all. No cuts were made in the budget. The budget went up every year. And we still had it's a total over 4 years of $18,408,000 that we've taken in more than we spent. Or if you divide that out, that's $4,300,000 per year for 4 years that we took in more than we spent, and that's with the increase of.
Okay, where is that money?
It's in general fund.
Okay,
it's
just sitting there. Okay,
it's cash flow.
Cash flow.
At the time when we raised the taxes, we did have a problem. A problem we had no cash flow. You got to have cash flow. Me more than anybody, probably me as much as anybody can understand that. Had I not had a large reserve put up when COVID hit and had cash flow, I can tell you the Strand Cinnamon downtown wouldn't be there right now. We burnt through a year's reserve in the last year.
Wow.
The county didn't have anything at this time, so it was necessary to take some action.
And when was that, when the county didn't have anything?
When we raised your taxes on it.
When we went up 5 mills.
Yeah, it was. We were down to having to borrow money in January just so we could pay the bills. So something had to happen. But my issue with the way it was done was we didn't ask you for a 5 mil increase so that we could get cash flow. We asked you for a 5 mil increase so that we could pay a debt. None of the money that we raised for I say none, $500,000 towards the GO. But of this $18 million, none of it went towards the actual that was raised by the tax of the 5 mills went towards any of the debt. Well, the debt was covered by using in-kind. I'm going to let Kevin explain that better, but the in-kind of simply work we were already doing that we're paying for a general fund, the state would allow you legally to count that as a payment, but it wasn't money that you raised. The money that we raised was spent to put us into a cash leverage situation or cash flow. This reserve I'm looking at now. If we now have around actually 14 net is what it is, 14 million net that we have in reserve. That's over a year. We raise a year about $12 million in digest, and I'm going to talk a lot of numbers here. $12 million is how much we collect from the taxes for property taxes, roughly, depending on what we set the millage at. So we have more than a year reserve in that right now.
Okay.
And Kevin pointed out with what he told you. We're in June, and there's still $4 million. We ain't touched anything in 10, which is good. But we said it was for debt. That's not what it was for. If we found out we didn't need it for debt, why didn't we immediately lower it back down?
And the debt has not been
all right, Kevin McCrary, our county commissioner. Go ahead, Kevin.
Oh, I get my turn?
You get your turn. Remember, guys, keep it simple.
That's right.
Y'all understand the figures left, forward, and backward. Just put it in plain black and white, simple terms. Okay?
Lower the taxes.
That's right. Well, and the money that was paid back, that's what we were going to talk about. Hand me that piece of paper. The numbers we were given, or Ralph was given on the repayment amounts, that is not cash money repayments. It's done on a proportionate basis on a 60% markup. So if we had a culvert to replace out on the road and it cost $1,000, that money was charged at $1,600, and it was stuff we already had to do. Okay, it was already budgeted into the road department. Am I getting you, or am I losing you?
No, you're saying it costs more than you budgeted. Okay,
that's right. So no, not cost more. It was charged back to repay the T-Splost account.
Oh, okay,
and that's okay.
So it was legitimate because we can use those on anything to do with roads or paving or anything like that. So it was inflated, and then that portion was used to go back on the debt that we owed. It's not cash money. It's stuff we already had to do. Okay. So that's the problem that Ralph and I are talking about. Before I was in office, I went to a meeting, and that's what they said, that if we didn't pay this money back, we would go into receivership. Well, it's still not been paid back with money that they requested, the 5 mil increase, the 38% added on to your taxes. So why are we not in receivership if we still have not paid it back? I mean, on paper it looks good, but to the public, you ask for the money so that you could pay it back. I know a long time ago I was talking about double taxing. They paid the penny splost that was added on to our taxes.
For T-Splost?
Yes.
Okay.
And once they got that money, it was spent somewhere else, and we were unable to recuperate from that. So that's why they said we had to go up the 5 mils on the taxes. If we didn't go up on the 5 mils, we were going to go into receivership because we would have no way of paying that money back. And that's the problem I have. That's the reason Ralph and I are here. We're trying to be transparent. A lot of people don't have time to go to meetings and things like that. I heard somebody the other day say, well, how come we hadn't heard about this before? Every time I've been in here, that's all I've talked about is how the money that we have coming in is helping us recuperate from other things, not from this debt that we owed. Ralph said a while ago we paid $500,000 back to the GEO bond. To my knowledge, and I think you asked the question up there, nothing else has been paid back far as cash money from that 5 mil increase. And that's what I have a problem with, because I want to be transparent with the public. I want them to know that we are actually following the budget. I've read our oath of office, and that's one of the first lines is we are to keep up with the budget. We're to know these numbers. I think you need to ask your commissioner why he votes against lowering the taxes when we have this much extra money each year when it comes in.
Why isn't the extra money being spent to pay down the debt?
They don't.
They paid the debt off by.
The debt is paid off?
The debt is paid off by in kind. It weren't with cash money.
It's money we've already
money
sent.
you already had.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, but that's I don't want to get in the weeds on this. The bottom line is this: when you was there at the meeting and we were telling people it was terrible. We was telling people we was going to have to raise the taxes. We were not asking for to raise the taxes so that we could create cash flow and a reserve. That's not the reason does anybody remember being asked for that reason? We was asked for debt. When we realized the debt wasn't necessary, and now that we've already achieved, so not only did it not go there, which is what we said it was going to, but the good part is we've achieved. It is taken care of, and we have achieved a very sufficient reserve balance of $14 million. That's more than we take in on the digest. My point I'm in here for is I'm not here to talk bad about nobody. I don't want to be argumentative. I'm to say there is no reason at all that we don't lower. In fact, we could go down 4 mils. But the reason I'm saying too is I want to account for a few things I don't want to see us back in a bad shape again. There's some things like, we have to deal with some pay raises for some unpaid employees. We've got to deal with an ISO situation where the city the fire department's not going to be able to leave the city unless they're going to leave the county uncovered, and that's going to cause us to go to a 10 on our ISO, which that's a lot of names there. It's going to cause your insurance to go up if we don't do it on your houses. So we're going to have to apply some money there. I'm saying that 2 mills it still leaves room. You can cut 2 mills, still have a balance of reserve, and still take care of the issues with the raises, the EMS, and other things.
All right.
Can I ask a question?
Sure.
My question is, if we got all this money, why would we take out a tax anticipation note every year?
Yeah, well, we've been taking it out every year. Honestly,
that's the thing that bothers me. I mean, nobody runs a household like that.
I agree. I agree.
That's a $5 million tax anticipation note you take out every year.
And they were starting that
out
out
all this money
at the beginning of the year. If you remember years back, they were starting out in January, February. They were already having to borrow money.
Yeah.
I gave Butch a piece of paper. If you will, read those numbers to us, Butch.
Can I answer them real quick? The answer to your question is, it's a line of credit now. So as of right now, we're in June.
A line of credit, but if you've got all this money coming in, why you need a line of credit?
We did need it.
That's my problem. I've been having a problem with tax anticipation note for
Me
years.
too.
I don't understand why the county, nobody does it. The city doesn't do it. The school board doesn't do it. The homeowners don't do it. I mean, it'd be nice. I don't understand why the county has to do it every year. If you got all this money that you claim you've got, I mean, you're saying you got $3 million in 2017, $3 million more than you took in 2018, $6 million more. $3 million more in 2019. You add that up. I mean,
$18 million.
Right.
So
why are you borrowing $5 million every year to start the year?
I'm sorry, Bob. Let me correct you though. I'm not saying that. Those numbers are from the county office. They were audited by Kel Harris and Chris Harris, and they're certified with the state of Georgia. Those aren't my numbers. We do that. If that's not true, there's some people shifting money, and I don't believe it. Those are real numbers. That really is there. But to answer your question about the TAN. Initially, we were cash broke at the beginning of the year. So if you have $3 million, it takes more than $3 million to get all the way to the time we collect taxes. But at this point, we have a full year's digest put up. There's no reason for it anymore.
Are these numbers just for are these for all the funds or just the general fund?
General fund. That's the general fund. I didn't want to get into to the SPLOST and all that stuff because sometimes stuff holds over from year to year and projects. I want to keep it simple to what we're actually budgeting. We budget the general fund is what we budget. So
Butch,
this is the
will
general
you
fund.
read that piece of paper that I gave you?
Okay, it says fund balances as of May 31st, 2021, the general fund. End of April bank balance is in the black, in the positive.
In the general fund.
In the general fund is, so once again, fund balances of May 31st, 2021, general fund, end of April bank balance, $4,435,782.47.
With no borrowed money.
And exactly to what Bob's saying about the TAN. When we have that much money this far into the year, that's a good thing. But we should be able to give the taxpayer some relief. I've been getting bombarded with the assessments that are coming in. Most of them are going up. I've heard one person that said theirs went down. Everybody else is saying theirs went up. Appeals should be settled or explained in the digest for about July the 22nd, somewhere in there. So we should know. If you remember last year, the digest went up to $747,000. This year, it should go up even more. We have several industries that are coming in, several of them that are growing. That's a good thing. We don't provide many services to these industries that come in here, so that's more money. When their tax money comes in, we don't have to spend money out on services. The digest is when it goes up, we collect more taxes at the same millage rate.
Okay.
I don't know. Is that clear enough?
Yeah, that's it. And basically what it comes down to is the fact that Ralph Hickox and Kevin McCreary, two Wayne County commissioners, after looking at all the numbers that have been certified by our accountants and the state, say we've got a positive cash flow of an average of about an average of $4 million.
No, it's $18 million in the bank.
$4 million per year, right?
I'm sorry. Let me clear it up.
Yes,
there's $18 million according to the auditors that is in reserve. That's already in reserve. We're running in excess a year right now, about $3.5 million in excess.
About $3.5 million a year extra.
So even if you stop this year and you roll back, you still got that money in the bank. That doesn't change that.
Okay.
Also, we hadn't even mentioned the fact that we're, because I don't like to count chickens that I can't control. We're supposed to get $5 million from the CARES Act this year. That's a huge. But let's don't even count that. But if we get that, that's huge.
It's actually the American Rescue Plan.
Okay,
and it's supposed to be. I did some research on it. It's supposed to be $2.5 million this year, and then $2.5 million next year. They're
not even counting that
up.
I'm trying to make this simple for our listeners out there. Is the fact that Ralph Hickox and Kevin McCreary, after looking at all the figures that have been certified by the accountants and the state, say, "Hey, we got a great positive cash flow." You know, we raised the millage rate 5 mils a few years ago, but y'all did lower it down 1 mil, didn't you?
Yes, sir.
1 mil, or somewhere along there a year or so ago.
But the digest went up, so it's really
so the digest has gone up. So there's more taxes coming in because the digest went up last year, and it's gone up again this year. But y'all feel that because of this positive cash flow and the promises that were made to the Wayne County citizens when y'all did raise it 5 mil, because everybody said we're going to lower it when we can. All right, all y'all did.
We could have already done it.
And so now you're saying that it'd be easy and also a good thing for the citizens of Wayne County to lower the mill by 2 or more. Let's just say 2 right now, and still have enough reserve there in case there's emergency or something comes up or unexpected expenses. So if y'all looked at all these figures and that have been certified by our accountants and the state, and we got a positive cash flow here in Wayne County in terms of the general fund with taxes, why would anybody be against lowering taxes for the citizens of Wayne County? What kind of roadblocks do y'all two receive when you ask for that?
You got it, Butch.
I'm asking.
I know, but you explained it perfectly. Some of the things that we have, when Ralph and I made the motion in a meeting to lower the millage rate, we have things come up. And that's another thing that the county commissioner and the administrator have to look at is things we have coming up in the future. Right now, we have sheriff's deputies starting out at $2 to $3 less per hour than surrounding counties. So what that means is they come in here, they apply for a job, they get the job, we train them, and then they leave because they're making $2 to $3 an hour less here. When they're trained, they can go to another county and make more money. The road department, the maintenance, it's people look at that and they say, well, why are they not getting this done? Why are they not getting that done? They are understaffed now. Do you realize that when we put a job request out for a diesel mechanic, do you know what the county pays starting out for a diesel mechanic? This is a good one. I'm just using this as one example. $11 an hour. You can't hire a diesel mechanic for $11 an hour. The EMS, their salaries are subpar to surrounding counties. We've already looked at these figures. These are things that we have to take into consideration when we do. And there's many more Ralph mentioned fire department. We've got to figure out what we're going to do about that. But there's several things that play into factor on this circumstance to be able to lower the millage rate. And we don't come in here looking at this and just say, like a normal taxpayer, y'all need to lower taxes, okay? But you don't have any basis for being able to lower tax. We've looked at the numbers. We've looked at the things we have coming up, and there's no excuse why your commissioners should not vote to lower taxes this year. COVID was bad. Nobody got any relief. We did drop at 1 mil, which was not very much last year. There's no reason why we shouldn't be able to give the people some relief. With the assessments going up, I've had several people say, I'm not going to be able to afford to live in Wayne County with the taxes as high as they are. So you need to be in touch with your county commissioner.
Well, I get that. For years, I have received that comments from people around saying the fact that, why are the taxes in Wayne County more than they are in Pierce County, Appling County, Long County, Tattnall County, where Vidalia is, Toombs County. Why are the taxes more here than they are other places? And then y'all talking about how we still pay less on some of our employees than they do in those other counties. So I've heard that for many years. Is taxes in Wayne County are high. So why are we in this situation?
If you look at the paper we brought in, that's again certified numbers, you'll see we're in excess of $3 million each year at least. All right. Mm-hmm. All right. That's $3 million is roughly 4 mills. Even if we cut 2 mills, it's still leaving $1.5 million on the table to address the raises and stuff we're talking about. So we're not talking about cutting 2 mills is not going to be cutting you down to bare bones. It's still going to leave you about $1.5 million just to address these issues. But I want to, if I can, back up on one thing here. We told y'all in 2018 the reason why we had to raise 5 mills was a debt. That money was not used on your raising taxes, was not used on that debt. It was used to create cash flow. Now, I believe in cash flow, but I also believe in being transparent and telling the truth. And the bottom line is if the problem is getting fixed by the tax money that you're putting in, but that's not what we said was going to do with it. And if I have to tell you something that's not true, if I tell you something that's not true to fix your problem, can you trust me to stop telling you a lie after I fix your problem? Be transparent about it. And here's where we're at, is the money did not go to that. It went to cash flow. Cash flow is good, but we didn't say that's what it was for. We're in a position right now, and here's what I'm in here for today, not all that. I'm here today to say we have a reserve of at least $14 million net. That's more than a year's income. Even with 2 mills cut, and I'd like to go 3, but even with 2 mills cut and saving the taxpayers, let them have a little bit of relief. Even with that, we're leaving money on the table to take care of these issues that Kevin was just talking about. So it's not a bare bones. Last year, I presented these same numbers except for 3 years, not 4-year trending. And it was not even questioned by the commissioners. It was just simply voted down. And the only statement that was made was, we'll have to lay off jobs, which obviously, if you see this, was not going to ever happen.
And
did it happen.
Months later, they put a job out.
Yes. I'm just asking this. I'm asking the people to be involved and hold us, the county commission, hold us accountable. Call your commissioner and say you want this tax cut. You want your taxes cut. They're calling us, complaining about their assessments going up. I'm asking them to call and ask them to cut the taxes by at least 2 mills. I'm asking them to show up at the August meeting and be heard and be there when we make that decision.
Someone just we have a lot of text messages to come in, but as we go through, y'all answer those questions. So I hadn't answered them, but you're talking about the assessment of county property here in Wayne County. Many of them have gone up. If your mill is worth a certain amount this past year, it's going to be more this year because the assessment's gone up. Someone just said my assessment on my house went up $174,000. Now my taxes are 40% more.
Yep.
I'm just one homeowner in Wayne County. That's not right. So if you're getting all this extra money because assessment going up, then it seems like that even more of a reason to lower the mills.
We're hitting them twice.
It seems.
We're hitting them twice. Not only did we raise it 5 mills and leave it there, we went down 1 mill, and leave it there for what? This is the 3rd full year. not only did we do that, the assessments are going up. Now we were in honest to God, we were in a cash broke situation in 2018. We had to borrow money, like Bob, me and you both used to complain about that. We had to borrow money in January. Right now, we're not borrowing money at that point. We don't need to. We have the cash reserve put back. Why do we have the tax note? Just in case. That's the reason why they were doing it.
What's the current value of a mill?
$747,000.
$747,000. Okay, somebody wanted to know that. $747,000. So really, when we get down to the bottom line here, is Ralph Hickox, Kevin McCrary, two county commissioners, say that because of the positive cash flow that we have each month, which is a little over $3 million extra dollars in the general fund per month, that
per year.
Excuse me, not per month, but per year. Yeah, I wish it was per month.
That would be super.
Per year. Yeah, per year that you feel that the mills can be lowered by $2 million and still have extra money in the pot in the general fund, just the general fund, all the other funds that come in the general fund. So you can give some tax relief to the citizens of Wayne County whose assessment's going up this year. They're going to be paying more taxes, and y'all feel that it can be lowered down to give some relief. As the county commissioners promised, when y'all went up $5 million several years ago, you said we're going to lower this down as soon as we can.
No, I'm going to go further than that. I don't feel that way. Those numbers are not mine. They're certified. Those numbers absolutely speak for themselves.
But why would anybody not want to give tax relief to the citizens of Wayne County? I don't understand that.
I don't either.
I don't know. Maybe you want.
I've been in office for 3 years. I voted on it. I have never voted for a budget because the budget is inflated. The first year I was in office, it came back and the budget said we got a piece of paper that said we came $1,000 under revenue. That's not true. And I proved it was not true. We were at $1.2 million under budget. If you listen, when we, at the end of the year, whenever they decide to do the, amend the budget, we always come in around $1 million under budget. So what's the sense in having a budget if you're going to come $1 million? You have not sharpened your pencil enough to get the budget straight to start with. If you come $1 million under, you didn't do your job before the end of the previous year. If you're coming in that far under, I mean, if you had $1 million extra on your budget up here, you wouldn't be worried about spending because you know you're going to have enough money to cover it.
That's just under budget, though. That's under budget. That's not the final revenue number. And that before we voted on the last budget, I went into the minister and said, "Listen, I'll vote for this budget if you adjust the revenue to what it's more trending to be." I just came from the CPAs at that time, and I want to know what the revenues were tracking. The revenues were tracking to be $2 million more than what he had listed as revenue. So that means if you come $1 million under and you go $2 million over revenue, that's if we're showing a balanced budget every year, how are we $3 million over every year? It's because we're underestimating revenue and we're coming on, that's good. Okay, it's terrific. I'm glad. But it's time to give people some relief.
So what's the next step?
I'm asking the people to call their commissioner.
That's why somebody just texted
in.
And what's the contact information for the commissioners? How do we contact them? They don't respond to my emails that I send to the county website.
If a county commissioner, I respond to you. You call me, I respond. I come on here all the time. If somebody says something to me on Facebook, I respond back. If they call me on the phone, if they text me, I respond. If your commissioner's not responding, you don't vote for him next time.
Well, if it's sent to the county website, maybe it just gets lost. Maybe you just need to contact the county commissioner personally themselves.
427-5900.
Yeah.
Call up there. And if they still don't, show up to a meeting if you can.
It's our responsibility to respond to you guys.
When were y'all going to propose to lower the millage rate by 2 mils next time?
Should be the digest should be in around July the 22nd.
So it'll be in August.
Yes.
When y'all make a motion and say let's lower the millage rate by 2 mils, we'll be at the meeting in August.
Most likely, yes.
Ralph and Kevin are going to do that.
The reason that we're here is last year I did this. So this is not new. I did this same thing last year. Where I pulled these numbers, the certified numbers. The difference was I read it in the meeting. Bob, you were there, weren't you? I read these in the meeting. And did you hear any argument from any other commissioner that I was wrong? From the actual commissioners?
I just know the vote was 3-2 against.
That's exactly right. So I read that then. And the thing is, who's paying this money is you, the citizens of Wayne County. And we're the one that suffered through COVID. We're the one that had to pay for the bill. if these numbers are wrong, which I mean they're turning into the state of Georgia, I didn't make them up. If they're wrong and we can't afford this, I'm saying the other commissioners need to speak up and say why is this wrong, not just vote no, because the people of Wayne County deserve it.
Okay. All right, we appreciate y'all coming in this morning. Ralph Hickox, Kevin McCrary, two Wayne County commissioners who feel that the county commission needs to lower millage rate by 2 mills at their meeting in August.
Or more.
Okay, or more. Y'all got to make some recommendation. So just say
it's going to be on the digest.
Okay,
we've got to wait.
You got to wait for the digest.
Yeah,
okay,
right.
wait for the digest.
That's the wild card.
Y'all are saying that we have a positive cash flow every single month.
Yes,
and then an average of.
I'm not
an
saying
extra
that. The state says that.
Well, the state says that apparently, and then we have a positive cash flow, and that y'all feel that we can give tax relief. Y'all can give the tax relief to the citizens of Wayne County by lowering at least by 2 mills. In starting the meeting in August. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
I think they deserve it.
And where do you think the other three commissioners stand?
I hope they're going to stand with us. I hope they're going to vote yes, because, I mean, why would you not? Why would you not give relief? Okay, for whatever reason you gave, whether you gave a reason for raising the taxes for a debt that we didn't pay, not with cash, or you raised it so you could have cash flow, which I like cash flow. Whatever your reason is, we're in position now. There's no reason. So I would hope this is going to be a 5-0 vote. There's no reason it's not a 5-0 vote. If it's a 5-0 vote, I'll be ecstatic. I'm sure you will too.
We just want to give you a chance, an early alarm that now is the time to go talk to your commissioner and ask that same question that you asked. What are the other three going to say? Ask them. Say, well, then, if these numbers came from the state, why would you not vote to decrease the millage rate to give us some relief? A lot of times, you know, they bring up a couple of things that add up to maybe $100,000, $200,000. Oh, we can't go down on the millage rate because of these items. Well, you look at the paperwork. Ask them, have you looked at the paperwork from the state? We didn't get these numbers. The state has these numbers. Our auditors turn in the numbers that they have to the state, and that's where these came from. Now,
and on that the 18.4 number, Bob, on there that was the total amount for 4 years. Of that, $4.2 million is that I call it paper sheet. They call it in kind, and that wasn't real cash. So, but you're still netting $14 million that we have in reserve. So that's what you're going to probably hear them say, well, some of that was in for in-kind. It is. I can tell you exactly how much. That's the other paper that where'd it go? From the audit. Here, that's this one. There's your difference right there. That was the in-kind. The rest of that is real cash. And
do y'all know the deadline to appeal property, your assessment?
30 days after you get your statement.
30 days after you get it.
After you get your
assessment.
So
once you get your tax assessment coming up, you got 30 days to appeal.
Yes, sir.
And you go down to the assessor's office and you say, I don't want to pay this much.
And they'll help you fill out the paperwork while you're there.
But I just want the people. I want the citizens to get involved. I mean, they're the ones that there's one that's toted the burden of fixing this problem. It wasn't fixed because we're so intelligent. It wasn't because the administrators are so intelligent. We're not that intelligent. It's because it was on the back of their tax dollars. That's what fixed the problem. And it's time to bring it down. I want the citizens to get involved. Be at the meeting. Call your commissioner. Let's get the taxes down. It can come down because when you overtax people, when you have a higher tax rate in your surrounding area, you know where business goes? They go to those counties. If your sales tax is higher than surrounding counties, if your property tax is higher, they're going to locate their businesses in other counties. It stifles your growth.
That's how the other counties have lower taxes, is because they have more industry and money coming in from industry, and you provide less services for those. I've said it before. For every dollar that a taxpayer pays, a normal taxpayer on a home or something like that, we spend $1.25 in services for that person. Industry, for every dollar that they pay, we pay 83 cents in for services. So we're actually making money from those taxes coming in from industry. Those numbers came from the ACCG when I went to some of the classes, and that was interesting to find out that, you know, that if we get some more industry in here, most of the industries, I mean, just think about how much they add to our community. I don't even want to get into them, but the ones that donate to charities and baseball for uniforms and things like that. It's amazing how beneficial they are to Wayne County, and I want to see Wayne County grow. And when I was on my platform, that's what I said. I was going to go through the budget, try to figure out a way that we can lower taxes. It's that time now. It's past time, but we just need some help from other commissioners, and the public needs to hold them accountable, hold their feet to the fire, and ask them why they're not voting to lower this millage rate. To lower the millage rate or their taxes. Okay, and we do have an invitation to any of the other commissioners, the county administrator, to come on to talk about the other side of this issue if they want to. So we got y'all in here this morning. Y'all wanted to come on here. Yeah. If anybody of any other of the county commissioners or county administrator want to come in and talk about why we can't lower taxes, then we'd love for them to come on to do that, because we want to present all the opinions about this particular subject.
Well, I keep saying, to me, I'm at the point. It's not about opinion. These numbers are they speak, not me. That we can do it. But let's end on a high note here. Bob, what's your predictions for the All-Stars? This is putting white bread on top of the poop sandwich.
We got 7 teams left.
I got to get to the field.
Yeah, he got to get to the field, so we got to go. All right. Kevin McCrary, Ralph Hickox, thanks for coming in this morning and talking about this issue here, because I know all Wayne counties would love to have their taxes lowered, and we'll see what happens in August at the county commission meeting.
I want to. Are we already off the air?
No, we're not off.
I want to thank Butch and Bob for letting us come on here and share this information to get it out to the public. Now it's the public's turn to share it with their neighbor or their friend and let them know to spread this word so that they can raise the concern and either show up to the meeting or ask the questions to their county commissioner why we're not lowering these taxes.
All right. Y'all have a good day.
Thank you.
All right. Take care. All right. The world famous Butch and Bob Show brought to you by First Southern Bank, by Murphy Builder Supply, by Damon's Famous Fingers and Wings, and by Sean O'Quinn and Associates Country Financial. 105.5 FM in Jessup, Big Dog Country Radio, WIFO.